Okay, I always love trying to film stuff for people in this house because for one thing it's a mess, so to kind of make it so that it looks not so bad. But I wanted to show you, Shannon, where I sting. So I have a lot of pain in my legs, and I'm sorry that I didn't shave it. I'm not going to. For those people that can't deal with it, don't look at it. Sorry, but it's just at some point I don't care about certain things. Like shaving takes more energy than I have right now. So when I have pain, I hope you can see this. I'll redo it if you can't. But I have pain that when I was really bad off, it was bilateral, and you could see redness right here and all across the tops of my feet and the bottom. I felt like I was walking on nails. So I think that's a neuropathic pain, and that's what's been flaring lately. So when I sting, one of the areas I was taught to sting, I was taught that it was an acupuncture point, and it's adjacent to the knee. So this is my left leg, and it's like right about right here. So if you see my kneecap and come down maybe about an inch or something, it's off that direction. Another place that I stung was actually right about opposite. But when I'm getting pain like down here, I actually go in, and I hope you can see this, and sting like here and down here. See, it's on the back of my Achilles tendon, and then and I know this is gonna look painful to some people. I try not to have blood vessels, so look at your foot, but I'll sting here, and yeah, it does hurt. So ice there first.
All right.
It's not that bad. It knocks the wind out of you sometimes for a little bit if you don't ice. I'm not big into icing. And I've stung right here too. So when you're having, and another place that the doctor, I didn't get much from him, but he stung on the surface part of it's right here. I think there's a major acupuncture point in here. So when you're having like leg pain, you kind of need to move around. If you haven't been stinging for 3 months or more, don't go down to sting your extremities, because they will actually kind of blow up with swelling. It's not the best. But if you've been stinging that long, Amber teaches to creep down slowly and do tests, like a test sting, and kind of make your way there. But for those of us that have been doing this a long time and that we know you've stung in a certain region, we know it's not the same thing. I've been stinging for over a year. It's not the same thing if I go down and sting down here as it is somebody who's been stinging for even 2 or 3 months. Not to me. If you've been stinging 2 or 3 months, you absolutely need to creep down if you've been stinging just a few months. And that even goes to me 6 months, 7 months. I did that when I was first stinging, and so, because otherwise it can really get big, and why do that? And also, don't do a whole bunch. Just come down and try one area, and that's enough. Anyway, so like I said, and I try to hit different areas along. In fact, you can see it if you look at my leg. You may not be able to, like I sting here. So I told you here, but I also sting here. Sorry that I'm using this pen, but you can't see. And I go, because it hurts like all along my tendon. It's almost like a line. Now obviously I don't do this all in one sitting. You can't. If you're going to do something like do 5 stings on your spine and then do, say, 5 here because you're trying to do 10 stings, that's it. I think you might be able to do a couple of test stings over and above 10, and I've stung at higher levels. I'm certainly not recommending that for other people. But sometimes when I was stinging 10 on the spine or 8 on the spine, I would do 4 or 5 extra, and that was different. And you have to kind of work your way up to that. Sometimes more is not better. And I found that, so I'll share this. Please do not do this if you're trying to get to 10. This is more my personal experience. I worked my way up to 20. And at one point I was slightly above that 20 mark. And it is done in RA and different illnesses, higher sting levels. But at some point I felt like, and that was during the winter, and as summer and spring came in, I felt like it was just getting more and more powerful. It's because venom's more powerful in the summer. And I found myself not feeling well. And so I came down to 18, and then I came down to 16, and I came down to 14. Yeah, 14 was too high. And it came down to 12. And some days I don't even feel like I can hit that. So you have to think through stuff. More does not mean better. I was so worried I'd start sweating again, so I was stinging at higher levels, and you know what, I never started sweating, even when I dropped those stings back down really close to 10. So, you know, sometimes when you're doing 10 on the spine, or you're doing close to 10 on the spine, you want to maybe do 6 on the spine, or 7 on the spine, and you want to do 3 on the extremities, and you want to get a couple more in. You can do a couple test stings. Take the stinger out right away. Anyway, this didn't work. I'll have to readjust the camera because unfortunately I can't see. Like, I've got an old camera. You can't see when you're looking at it. I think a lot of people can actually see what they're filming when they're filming. I can't. So it's always interesting to see what I got in view. Especially because in order to get the little area that was clean on this couch, I had to kind of zoom in on this. So it should be interesting to watch. Okay, I hope that helps. And same thing on the arms. You probably can see this. So if I have a lot of pain in my arms, I sting here. I know this will sound weird. I do never sting on a blood vessel, but I do actually sting here. I found that helps with my wrist pain. I have stung in here on the tendon. Don't just go there. It does hurt. Okay, you need a testing and remove it right away. And you should actually work your way down. I mean, even if you've stung for months, on this one, it just hurt. And I did creep on my arms. It hurt when I got down to here, and it was only a day. It wasn't that bad. Nothing compared to my pain, but I hate to see somebody get like a lot of swelling in there. So, you know, like I think I did it here, and then you gotta be a little careful in through. I'm pretty thin, so I think I did it here. And then I try to avoid blood vessels, but I think I was down in somewhere in here, and then, you know, I made my way down to the wrist. And I was really freaked out to sting this area. I didn't sting the blood vessel. It's right adjacent. I stung the tendon. And it did help. I'm afraid to sting on the palm. One time I injected there, and it just really killed. You know, Amber was recommending, I think, a palm sting for me. We'll see. I may have to numb it. Here was an area my doctor did. If you're having a neuropathic pain, I'm not saying you can't sting the spine and bee venom is supposed to get its way to wherever it's supposed to be going. It's just, I don't think it's as direct as when, you know, you go down and through here. As it, you know, and early on, just sting your, you know, your spine, where Amber's talked about below that, the lowest point of the neck. It's, if you feel there's this bump on the back of the neck, go down below that a good inch or 2 or more. I mean, you want, and then the waist, you know, you've got your waist. You kind of put your hands on your hips. It's above that area. So you don't want to be stinging down in the sacrum and low back early on. Trust me, it's not a pretty sight when it swells. I saw it in my husband. And so not everyone's the same. I didn't have that. But I would, I think that you almost have to get in there and get to areas where it may be systemic bee venom, but I still think it's better to get closer to where you're having nerve pain. So yes, it's true the nerves branch out from the spine and everything, but if you sting here, here, wrist, or here, you are definitely closer to that source of what's going on. That's my opinion. I'm not a doctor, but that's how I sting. So hopefully this worked out. Thanks. Bye-bye.